Welcome back to the Redeemed Mess. I'm Kathy, and on this podcast, I talk about the messiness of life and how Jesus, in his grace and mercy, redeems every part of it. Whether you're walking through hard seasons, searching for hope, or just need a gentle reminder of God's faithfulness, you're in the right place. Let's dive into today's episode. Today's thoughts come from something that stirred in my heart while I was out on my walk this morning. You know how people often say, I'm socially awkward or I'm just an introvert. I've said those things too. But the truth is, I don't know that I'm really an introvert. I just don't like being too social. I like to pick who I'm social with. And I've come to realize that it's not really about personality, it's about protection because I've been hurt before. And maybe you have too. I've opened up to people who seem to want friendship only to be detached or dismissed later. And that stings. So I've built walls, not just fences, but thick walls to guard my heart. Because sometimes when I meet someone, they just spill their whole story to me and suddenly we're close. But if they don't like what I say or misread something, I get cut off and it leaves a mark. So I stay in my safe little bubble. But lately, I've been wondering what's really going on in the hearts of people who say they're introverted, socially anxious, or just not a people person. And I wonder if we really let God search our hearts, like Psalm 139 says, Search me, God, know my heart. What might he reveal? Could it be people pleasing? Or maybe deep insecurity? Like fearing we won't measure up. Maybe we compare ourselves too much or feel like we have to put on a show, pretend we're someone we're not. And that's exhausting. Or maybe it's pride. We feel superior or we like to have control over the narrative. The thing is, I don't want to live that way. I don't want to be closed off if God is calling me to open up. I want to be used by him, but not in a fake performance way, in a real, honest, redeemed way. I still wrestle with it though, because I like my peace and quiet. I like staying home. I avoid gatherings, and I have to ask myself, have I confused boundaries with barriers? So, quick prayer here. Lord, if this is part of me, this desire to stay in my little bubble, if it's out of line with your purpose, then show me. Help me to be obedient even when it feels uncomfortable. So, I believe God wants to use us, even in our quirks and even in our fears. He places us in situations where we can serve Him, but He doesn't want us to perform. He wants us to show up as we are, trusting that He will fill the gaps. So maybe it's not about pushing ourselves to be more social. It's about being open to God's nudging, being willing to risk a little comfort, a little vulnerability, because someone else might need what we carry. And maybe, just maybe, we need what they carry too. And maybe we can let our bubble become a little more breathable. Not wide open, not closed off either. And I guess that's the sweet spot of grace. Thanks for joining me today. And if you're in a season of healing, rebuilding, or just feeling a little weary of the world, I get it. And I hope today gave you something to think about. Be sure to follow this podcast and check out my other one, Almost Musings, where I share reflections from the quieter side of life. Until next time, remember this: God meets us right in the middle of our mess and makes something beautiful out of it. As always, take what you need, leave the rest. Be blessed.